the speed at which it runs.
So let's talk about the powerhouse that sets the pace for pretty much everything we do, the thyroid gland. Now I want you to think of it like your body's engine. It can rev way too high, or it can stall out and run way too slow. And knowing the difference, well, that's absolutely critical.
Okay, so how is this engine actually controlled? It all comes down to this really elegant command chain, this beautiful piece of biological engineering we call the hypothalamic pituitary thyroid axis, or HPT axis for short.
Let's just follow the flow here, starting right at the top. The hypothalamus, that's our master gland. It sends out TRH, that's the first signal. That signal goes to the pituitary and tells it to release TSH. Now TSH is like the gas pedal for the thyroid gland itself, telling it, hey, make some T4. But here's the thing, T4 is just the precursor. The real magic happens when it gets converted to the active hormone, T3, out in the peripheral tissues like your liver. That T3 is what truly revs up our metabolism.
And this is where the system's genius really shows. It has a failsafe. The amount of T3 and T4 that's just circulating around in your blood, well, that acts like a sensor. When those levels get high, they send a signal all the way back up to the pituitary and hypothalamus that basically says, okay guys, ease off the gas. This negative feedback loop is what keeps the engine from constantly redlining. It keeps everything in this perfect, delicate balance.
So what happens when that engine starts to sputter, when it starts to stall? That brings us to our next big topic, hypothyroidism. This is a state where your metabolic rate just drops and your whole body kind of slows down.
And the number one culprit, at least here in the United States, is something called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Now, this isn't just a simple mechanical failure. This is an autoimmune condition. Your body's own immune system, we're talking anti-TPO and anti-thyroglobulin antibodies, starts to attack and destroy your own thyroid cells. It just cripples its ability to produce hormones.
And you can probably guess what happens next. If the engine is just idling, everything slows down. Your metabolism tanks, which leads to weight gain. Your body can't generate enough heat, so you're always cold. Even the muscular contractions in your gut slow down, leading to constipation. Your heart slows down too. We call that bradycardia. It all points back to that one central problem, a slow-running engine.
Now, for any of you in your clinical rotations, listen up, because this is a big one. A classic physical exam finding is decreased deep tendon reflexes. You'll see it most clearly in the Achilles tendon. You tap the tendon, and the contraction is fine, but the relaxation phase, where the foot returns to its normal position, that part is visibly, noticeably slow. It is a dead giveaway of a slow-running metabolic engine.
The lab results, they tell the exact same story. When you have very little T4 being made, that negative feedback loop we talked about is gone. So the pituitary gland goes into absolute overdrive, just pumping out tons and tons of TSH, trying to get the failing thyroid to respond. So what do you see? You see a high TSH and a low T4. It's like you're flooring the accelerator, but the engine is broken and just can't go any faster.
All right, let's shift gears completely. What happens on the flip side? What happens when the engine is stuck with the pedal to the metal, just constantly overheating? Well, that's hyperthyroidism. And in this case, the most common cause is Graves' disease. It's also autoimmune, but with a really fascinating twist. Instead of destroying the thyroid, the antibodies, these are called thyroid-stimulating immunoglobulins, or TSIs. They actually mimic TSH. They bind to the TSH receptors and turn them on, basically hot-wiring the thyroid to produce hormone 24/7. And the symptoms are a perfect mirror image of hypothyroidism. The engine's overheating, right? So patients have heat intolerance, they're always sweating, their metabolism is in hyperdrive, so they're losing weight without trying, even though they're eating a ton, and their heart is just racing, leading to tachycardia, palpitations, and even dangerous irregular heartbeats like atrial fibrillation.
Now, Graves has some really unique calling cards, because those same antibodies that stimulate the thyroid can attack other tissues too. They go after the muscles and fat behind the eyes, causing them to swell up and push the eyeballs forward. That's called exophthalmos. They can also affect the skin on the shins, causing a weird, waxy swelling called pretibial myxedema.
So what about the labs? You guessed it, the exact opposite of Hashimoto's. The thyroid is churning out massive amounts of T4, so that negative feedback loop is on full blast. The pituitary completely shuts down TSH production, trying desperately to slow things down. So you'll see sky-high T4, but a TSH that is super low, often totally undetectable. The brain is hitting the brakes, but the engine is just completely out of control.
Okay, so what happens when these conditions are left untreated and some major stressor hits the body, like a big surgery or a bad infection? That's when we can get catastrophic system failure.
In hyperthyroidism, this is called a thyroid storm. It's a life-threatening hypermetabolic crisis. And on the other end of the spectrum, severe hypothyroidism can spiral down into a myxedema coma. This is a state of profound metabolic shutdown, and you classically see it in elderly women during cold winter months when their bodies just can't regulate their own temperature.
You can really see how these two conditions are just opposite sides of the exact same coin. So let's pull it all together onto one final clinical dashboard. A quick, high-yield review to lock it all in.
And here it is, all side by side. You've got the idling engine versus the overheating one. The symptoms are polar opposites. The lab results are a perfect inverse of each other. The antibodies are destructive in Hashimoto's, but they're stimulating in Graves'. And the treatments just make sense, right? In hypo, you replace the hormone with levothyroxine. In hyper, you've got to block production or even destroy the gland. This table, right here, this is the core information you absolutely need to master.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about memorizing facts. Mastering this stuff is about really understanding the logic of the body's metabolic engine and the delicate balance that governs.